Hello, everyone. Taper Talk. So, I'm doing one of my midnight shows. So, big question. Is there a God? Um, the answer to that question, in my mind, is really quite obvious. And I really don't even think it's something you could really debate about. I mean, is there a God? Big question. The biggest question, in fact. Philosophers have been talking about this and discussing and debating, and the answer is yes, 100%. Now, the only thing is, the question really is, well, God, what do you mean by God? What does that even mean? I actually was talking about a book that I'm actually finishing up by Mortimer Adler, How to Think About God. Now, there you go with God and religion. Now, that's a different thing. By the way, people who know me, I am a universalist, so I read all of this. I embrace all religions, from Hinduism and Buddhism and Taoism, Confucianism, all the monotheistic Abrahamic traditions, Judaism and Christianity and Islam, and even the primal traditions. I embrace it all, and I look for universal themes. And I know quite often they contradict each other, especially with the Abrahamic monotheistic religions. It's like, you believe in this, and all the other religions are wrong. You accept Jesus or you're screwed. You go to hell. I mean, that's totally absurd. And same with Islam, whatever. So I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, is there a God? Is there purpose or meaning? Is there a God? And the one question you really have to ask, there's really only one. And there's your evidence. The question is, why is there something rather than nothing? Okay? So this may sound like a trite thing to say. Many people have discussed this. Why is there something rather than nothing? In fact, Sean Carroll, who is an atheist, had a podcast a few months ago with that very question. Now, here's where I think Sean missed this and where I am totally convinced. If you look at, let's just talk about physics. When you think about physics, there is always causation, right? Something preceding event all the way back until you could go back, all the way to the Big Bang, right? So, when you think about physics, you always think in terms of path of least resistance, right? So, the easiest route, if you will, right? So you think about try to imagine like a stone or a rock in a stream, right? How about a stick? You place a stick in the middle of the stream. Stream goes right around the stick, right? The stream doesn't go zigzag and go this and that way. It's just following the laws of physics, and that's it. Path of least resistance. So there's that, right? So, in other words, I like to think of it as nature takes the easiest way out. So, if it was easier for there to be nothing, then there would be nothing. So, that extra step there. Why is there something rather than nothing? Here's the second part, which I find absolutely convincing. Now, you can talk to scientists and these reductionists and all that. You could talk to Sam Harris or all those guys, and they are just as puzzled when you talk about that jump from, at one point there has to be nothing. Now, you couldn't go all the way back to the Big Bang and go and have causation and this you have particles and this caused this and that, and we don't know everything. But you could imagine that maybe someday in the future that we'll be able to find out about all these things, but you'll never understand. Like, there's going to be a point where there's nothing, and then there's something. I think that's convincing evidence that, and it sounds like it's a default, and it kind of is, but for sure. And I am just 100% convinced that there is a God. I look around at the world just like everyone else. I see a lot of fucked up shit. There's evil and disease and war and horror. I mean, you just think about kids. I mean, this statistic is real that 9 million children die every year before they reach the age of 5. That's a real thing. You want to see horror? Why don't you read my textbook here, Diseases of the Human Body? You want to talk about Tay-Sachs disease? Little children who are blind and they had just nothing but horror and they die. Yeah, I know. Horrible diseases like Lou Gehrig's disease, and I know it's fucked up. So, but yet, there's more than an intuition. Why is there something rather than nothing? To me, in my mind, there is purpose. All right, so I'll be talking a little bit more about this, and I know perhaps it's a controversial thing to say, and not really, but yes, there is a God, 100%. How about that? You heard it here on Tabor Talk. Have a great night, everyone.